Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Wonder what I have on my mind. Hello, so guys, today we are going to do another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all the latest news in mobile, and there's a lot of news this week. And then we answer all of your questions live. So if you have any question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Alright guys, so let's get started on the big news topic, which is definitely the Sprint T-Mobile merger, which will be called T-Mobile. So basically, T-Mobile will absorb Sprint overall if this does go through. Now, given the past, we are not entirely sure that's a positive thing, although I think T-Mobile at this point has a very strong argument that if they don't buy Sprint, Sprint could go under, basically. So really crazy when it comes to that. So definitely very interesting to see what's going to happen overall. I think it's only going to be a good thing because T-Mobile really has been leading the way in the industry. Regardless of what you think about T-Mobile, if you think their service is crappy in your area or whatever, they have changed the industry. Everything they did, from no longer doing the 2-year contracts to, you know, unlimited data, making sure everyone has it, all that kind of stuff, they have changed the game when it comes to it. So because they have changed so much and they are going to absorb Sprint, they will be right there with Verizon and AT&T, and they are going to have a strong, innovative 5G area then. It's going to be really interesting to see how well it did overall. So really awesome when it comes to it. Now, the gist of this, you should know, this company would be worth $26 billion. Again, Sprint would just be dissolved basically within T-Mobile. John Legere would be taking over the helm of this new company. T-Mobile Deutsche Bank will retain 42% of this new carrier, and SoftBank, the main owner of Sprint, would maintain 27%, and the remaining 31% would be the general public, basically, who own shares. So that's pretty interesting to see how it's going to go down. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this merger will go through? I think this is the strongest chance it's ever had at going through. So I'm very curious to see how it will happen. But if there was ever a company buying another company that could actually work, I think this is it. Which is interesting again because, you know, AT&T wanted to buy Sprint a couple of years ago. AT&T wanted to buy T-Mobile a couple of years ago. And now T-Mobile has grown so big that it can buy Sprint itself. And we'll see how that happens. Alright, so the next thing is we have confirmation that the Note 9 has passed 2 variants through China for certification. Now these are slightly tweaked, so I don't necessarily think they're going to be 2 different phones, 2 different smartphones, but more so that you are going to have different variants in terms of different bands, possibly an Exynos version and a Snapdragon version. But it really is interesting to see how it's going to go because we're already getting certifications. Again, my prediction is you're going to get the announcement in late July, and it will come out in August this year, which is a month ahead of the Note 8 from last year, but it's on par with the Note 7 from 2 years ago. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes down, but I'm very curious. I think that's how it will go down because we're getting certifications this early. I know it's China, not the US, not everywhere else, but because we're getting some certifications this early, I think it definitely has a good chance of being that early of a timeline. Alright, then we also have the OnePlus 6 announcement officially is coming on May 16th. Now we are also supposedly going to get a Avengers theme phone for OnePlus, but it's only going to be in India. I do recommend you guys sign in because it will be through Amazon exclusively. So if you go to amazon.in, you should have the same sign-in as your us.com version, but I do not know if it will ship to you. I do not know anything like that. I know I have signed up for it just to make sure and everything like that, and I have it's going to alert me. But if you are interested in this phone, you might want to check it out. I only do recommend it if you do have a GSM carrier. So I do only recommend this if you have T-Mobile or AT&T personally, but it's going to be very curious to see if it will go down. I would love to buy that phone. I'm very curious to see if I will be able to, but we'll see what happens. All right. And then Samsung has reportedly sold 8 million S9s and S9 Pluses in its first month. Now, I would say this is kind of par for the course, as to say this is better than the S8 from what I remember, but it's not as good as, I want to say, the S6 or S7, as I think those almost sold 10 million and 9 million and 10 million, if I'm not mistaken, in their first month. So a bounce up from Samsung, but still, again, I don't think it's really where they wanted to be, especially just because it's just not as successful. Oh, here we go, actually. So yes, the S7 did the best. However, the S8 did do more as in comparison. So very curious to see how it went and how it'll keep going. But overall, I'm really curious to see how the S9 will do overall, although I do think the Note 9 will make a bigger impact if they get that fingerprint scanner in the display. I think that's going to matter overall in the Note 9. All right, now some other really exciting plans is that Samsung is apparently going to plan to launch more micro LED TVs. Now, if you don't know, micro LED is basically like OLED, but it is even brighter and it doesn't burn in as easily as OLED does. So if you ever have, like, you know, left your screen on one thing for a long period of time, or over and over again repeatedly every day, you do get screen burn in on OLED. Micro LED does not have this issue. So that's a really big thing, and they are expanding their micro LED TV lineup. It looks like the second half of this year. Now it's going to be very curious. I really only see this going to be in like maybe a not even a 65. I think this is going to be in a 75-inch and an 82-inch or something along those lines. It's going to be ridiculously expensive, like $15,000, $20,000, maybe even more. But I think they're just going to show, like, we can make these and the rich will buy them. So yeah, I'm very curious, but it's more of a thing that, you know, literally I think within the next 3 years we're going to see micro LED on smartphones, which will be great because you're going to even get brighter screens, and again, you're going to have the loss of issue with screen burn-in. So that's great. Another leak happened, and that is the S9 Active. It looks like we are going to get it, and it's going to come out, you know, May, June time it always comes out. However, it will also have a 4,000 milliamp battery, which is really big. I mean, it's the biggest battery that Samsung has had. The last year's model, S8 Plus, S8 Active, had that same battery, so it's going to be really curious to see another phone having it. So awesome for that. Really, I do love the fact that it has this. And then Samsung Bixby speaker might be able to see your temperature in the room. So it might have a barometer, it looks like, basically built into it, so that it can tell, oh, this is your temperature. You know, do you want me to set the AC automatically for you, kind of thing. But I don't see the point of that too much because your AC has a barometer too. I guess this is just if you want maybe this room specifically, if this room is this temperature, then you want it to kick on, which could work for me actually, because my studio gets hotter than most of the rooms in the house when I have all the studio lights on, so that would be good for me. So well, I'll see how it goes on overall. All right, then a big one that really was a surprise to me is that it looks like the music service that I use and have used since its launch, Google Play Music, is going to go away. It looks like they will be replacing it next year with YouTube Remix, which will be another thing, I'm guessing, like YouTube Music, and it's going to be only music based. It's going to be interesting. I don't see the point of this, really, to be honest. I think it's just that Google sees YouTube as a stronger name than Google Play Music, which I can't really argue against that. YouTube, everyone knows YouTube. So YouTube Remix might be a more prestigious name and really might bring it to the forefront against Spotify and Apple Play Music. Apple Music. So I'm really curious do you guys think this rebranding of the name is good, or is it just not necessary? What do you guys think? I think for a brand name, it's a good idea, but I'm curious to see how it's going to go overall. And on the LG G7 front, more bad news. It's going to be an LCD. It's going to be an LCD. It's going to be a super LCD. You know, it's supposed to be brighter than other LCDs that they've had in the past. Probably still not as bright as OLED. But it's supposed to be really bright, and you will have a possibility to hide the notch. So that has been confirmed, which is really good. Again, LG, please put that on by default, because if you watched our video on the viewers ranting about that notch, it was, yeah, unanimous. There were so many, I got so many comments that just repeatedly said, will not buy a phone with a notch, will not buy a phone with notch. Oh, I was gonna buy this phone, too bad, I'll go with something else. Immediately, as soon as I heard this, I'm not buying this phone. All that kind of stuff, so it was really interesting to just see, like, wow. So yeah, but super, why LCD? It's just such, it's not what you need to do in 2018. I just, let me know what you guys think. I think it's such a bad one. I think it's such a bad one. Let me know what you guys think. I think there should be a much better decision than this. And then finally, we were talking about last week how ZTE will could quite possibly no longer have Android OS. Like that they would, if Google goes through with this, they will stop ZTE from being able to use the Android license, and they can no longer make Android phones, which would be devastating. Huawei apparently has a backup in case Google does the same thing to them, and that is they are developing their own OS just in case Google drops them from Android. No, Google, I'm not talking to you. So it really is interesting. It looks like this is not a quite finished one, not nowhere near the level of Tizen as Samsung has done for these kind of things, but it looks like it's just a possibility that Huawei has had. Now, here's my thing. I think Huawei, in terms of software, is not good. I think that is the thing they need to really go over. So it's really kind of curious to see what will happen in this case overall with them, but I just think their software is probably their weakest thing they have. Alright guys, that is all the news we have for this week. Now let's get to your questions live. Again, if you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below and I will answer it before the end of the show. Alright, my business calendar app isn't updating and syncing between my other devices anymore. What am I doing wrong? I would check your syncing overall. So basically turn off all the syncing, then turn it back on. Go into the settings of possibly like your email app. I'm guessing you're using a Microsoft Exchange account. So make sure in there that it is properly being pushed out immediately and doesn't have any kind of delay on it, because that could be another thing. But there's always a lot of things that could be going on with that. It's usually Microsoft Exchange account, and it's usually finding that one setting that isn't pushing out but holding in instead, or not updating, or maybe the app isn't running in the background. Maybe it made something so it wouldn't allow it to run in the background. I'm not sure, but those are things, those are possibilities. What is a SIM card? What is a SIM card's purpose? A SIM card's purpose is to give you signal. Basically, it's to give the carrier a number assigned to the phone so that it has its technology for this phone. That would be the simplistic thing. Now, people are beginning to use eSIM cards, electronic SIM cards, which just switch depending on which carrier you go to, but that is far in between and not popularized yet. Not to mention carrier stores don't know how to do it. Oh my god, what happened to your arm? I know, right? Good evening, Ricky. Have you seen The Avengers? Yes, I did. I did do a review on it. Go ahead and check out that movie review of The Avengers. Please no spoilers here on the chat as well, of course. If you do put a spoiler, I will remove the first one, and if you do another one, I will remove you. So just letting you know, be forewarned. It is an amazing movie. You should go see it. It is the all-time box office opening weekend. It did beat Star Wars. It is now the all-time box office opening weekend with 250 million, and it's awesome. So yeah, epic. When I saw it the second time with my wife, she was just like she didn't know what to say. She was like, no, like what just happened? This isn't the end. Like where's the rest of the movie? Like it's so impactful. I avoided all reviews for spoilers. Amazing movie. Go ahead and check out the you can go ahead and check out the review. Mine was a non-spoiler review. I did not do a spoiler review. I just didn't see the point of it. It's just the non-spoiler assessed how shocked I was and how wow I was by it. iTunes Music No More in 2019. I heard that they might be doing that too. I'm really curious to see if it'll go through. I just don't think so. I don't know, but we'll see. Google coming up with a new operating system. That has been rumored for a while, but no new updates as far as I know, unless you heard something. Wonder if T-Mobile will cost the same also. How will CDMA towers be converted to GSM? CDMA towers will be converted to GSM from what I've heard from the preliminary things, but we'll have to see because it's a lot of work to convert those towers, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes overall. I think it's just going to be more that they own all those towers, so then basically they just convert each one at a time and the signal will only get stronger. I think that does mean though that all the Sprint smartphones that are not something like Samsung Note 8, S9, iPhones for the past 2 years or 3 years even, because those can all change and be CDMA and GSM just fine, but that is not the same for every manufacturer, so it will be interesting to see how that goes about. Man, I bought the Note 8 unlocked, and so it has all the bands. Oh, I'm glad I bought it. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because then you could just have it go either one. I thought John Legend confirmed on Twitter that that they already acquired Sprint. They did. They have acquired it, but it is not yet approved. Basically, they have said, we have bought this company, but it has to be approved. So they do own them, but they can't do anything till it's officially approved. If that makes sense. I bought the Anker fast charge cord you reviewed. Worked better than expected. For some reason, the phone stopped doing fast charging, connecting to the computer on I have an S8 Plus. Most computers don't do fast charging. Actually, I've never had a computer that does fast charging it does fast transfer because it's USB 3.0, but I've never seen one that does fast charging, at least none that I've ever noticed. So yeah, that'd be curious to see if it does do it. I mean, it does fast charging to the computer because if you have a 28 AWG cable connecting your Type-C to your laptop, that is fast charging the laptop, but not necessarily out fast charging, at least none that I've noticed. Maybe a Thunderbolt 3 one, I don't know. I just haven't noticed it. I don't have a Thunderbolt 3 on my desktop, maybe that's why I don't notice it. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just flooded. That means everyone has to drink. Let's see. Wait and see. Ricky, have you seen Prison Break? What is your opinion on it? I have not seen Prison Break. A very similar game to it though. No Way Out was really fun. If you have, you and someone else that likes to play video games, play No Way Out. Me and my wife played it. It was a really fun weekend. It's very short. You can easily beat it in 2 days, if not 1 day, if you really do a whole day. We had a lot of fun with it. It was awesome. We finished it. It was emotional at the end, but yeah, awesome. Let's see. Samsung and Apple owning so much market share is bad for consumers. I agree, but they're just, LG is going away, it seems like, in terms of the top market share competitor in the US is number 3. Google is taking its place. OnePlus still has a niche market, and Huawei and ZTE have been banned from the US now, so it's kind of curious to see if anyone will step up now. How about G6 Oreo tomorrow? I don't know if that is confirmed that LG G6 is getting Oreo tomorrow. If it is, it's awesome. But yeah, I'm not sure. Greetings, RCKY, the Infinity Guy. There you go. I think the poor S9 sales is because it doesn't differ too much from the S8 in most people's eyes. I agree. I should upgrade my Moto G5 Plus to the Moto G6 since Moto G6 Plus doesn't come to the US. Should you? I don't know. That is a really tough one because you will be getting a smaller screen if I'm not mistaken, which kind of sucks. I don't know why Moto did that. The Plus is the favorite in my opinion in the US, so I don't know why they would make it not available in the US. I still think there's a chance of them changing that, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm hearing the iPencil stylus to go along with the iPhone X Plus sold separately. I definitely think if Apple will make an iPencil for the iPhone, it will be sold separately. Absolutely. There's not a doubt in my mind that it will be sold separately. More anti-competition loss for consumers. Overall, the S8 sold more than the S7, so if they're selling over 8 million now, then expected pretty good sales for the S9. We'll see. It's curious. Overall, yes, the S8 did sell better, but in the first month, the S7 sold more. So it's really kind of curious to see how it all goes down. RCKY, the tech guy is your name. You should stand for education every time I watch you. Oh, the E should stand for education every time I watch you. I learned something new. You're like a lecturer. Thank you. I used to do actually presentations in my last job, which was marketing before I got into real estate. So I do miss that actually. I do miss going on stage and talking to people. That was one of my favorite parts of my old job. Question, do you use a VPN service on your phone or computer? And if so, which one and why? I was using Opera VPN and TunnelBear. I am in the process of testing other ones out and switching. So I do not know which ones I will go. Opera VPN was on the phone, but that's going away. And TunnelBear was bought by McAfee, so I don't want anything to do with them. So going to be switching, don't know which ones yet. But those were the ones that I was using before. Sammy needs, and when I find good VPNs to replace them, I will do a video on it. Sammy needs to get MLED, micro LED, on the SHD Note series for the S10 and Note 10. Somehow they gotta do it for the 10th year anniversary. I don't think there's a chance in hell that micro LED is gonna come to the S10 and Note 10 next year. I just don't see it happening. To be honest, the technology's not ready yet, in my opinion. But it's curious to see that how that will be a big impact when we get it. If people are educated on it though too, because you know, if someone just tells you, oh, this no longer has an AMOLED display, it has a micro LED display, people are gonna be like, what does that mean? You know, Samsung really has to educate people on it. LG update phone, Tab S4 and Gear S3 leaks, nothing yet. I don't expect any leaks on those till probably July. Apple doing away with 3D Touch by 2020. I haven't heard that. It's going to be curious to see though, just because I don't think a lot of people do use it. I think that statistically that has been proven on a couple of surveys that I have seen. Looks like the Note 9 will be slightly taller. Do you have any leaks on the Note 9? No, not for a little bit now. We haven't gotten too much information on it. I expect we're going to start to get more information in the next 2 months, especially towards June. Alex is selling more than S8s at the moment. Oh, it's selling more than S8s, most despite the start. Those aren't poor sales, lol. Yeah, no, they're not poor sales. Don't get me wrong. He has been using Opera VPN. Yeah, so you guys know. Damn it, Google, stop messing with my services. Oh yeah, the whole Google Play Music. I just signed for NordVPN 3 years for $99, but 20% back from Ebates. That's a really good one. But VPN Unlimited is $50 for a lifetime. Huh. Not bad at all. So 3 years for $99. Oh, VPN Unlimited is another VPN, I guess it. $50 for a lifetime. May do that and cancel NORAD since it works on my PC. Yeah, that might be a good one. So VPN Unlimited, I'll check into that, but for $50 for a lifetime, that's awesome. As long as it's a good quality. I think T-Mobile and Sprint merger is bad for consumers. Less competition makes these companies not want to give incentives. I do agree that's a possibility, but honestly, in this case, Sprint was going to go away regardless, so I'd rather their infrastructure at least help T-Mobile to be more competitive with AT&T and Verizon to really, you know, have a big clash so that they can maybe incentivize people to go away from AT&T and Verizon, and then Verizon and AT&T have to incentivize to keep them. So that's the big thing. Because one thing I will say about AT&T and Verizon, most of their deals come from people that are going to them. Like if you are an existing customer, you are screwed basically. You don't get anything. But if you are a customer that is new, you get a lot of incentives. So I'm really curious to see if they'll change that because of this. It's not necessary. Google Play Music is my daily streaming device. I agree. Same with me. Bad news about the LG G7, only 4 gigs of RAM. Yes, it will be only 4 gigs of RAM as well from what we've heard. I use Google Play Music almost every day. I hope they still have unlimited music with YouTube Red. I do see that still staying, but we'll have to wait and see. More theaters going LED. Only a few theaters have gone. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Only a few theaters have gone LED, but it's going to be really good to see that in the future. It's something that I personally hope for, just because I do think projectors are not the future. They've never been the future. I would love to review a short throw projector, because those are a whole nother level. When we checked out the Sony one, that was really expensive, mind you, but it was beautiful. So short throw projectors are an entirely different technology that I really could see them doing very well. But like, we are going to check out and review a $400 projector for Tech Out the House, and really good clean technology for if you really want a big screen. If the big screen is what you want, they're really great at it. But overall, I just don't see them being the best in terms of how LED is just so much more vibrant, so much more just the future of theaters and cinema, I believe. Google needs to pick a service and stick with it. Sometimes change is not good. I agree. Google Play Music to be YouTube Music to be prepared for a price hike. I don't think it's going to be a price hike, to be honest. We'll have to wait and see, but I don't think it'll be a price hike. If anything, Google is going to want to be more competitive with Spotify. So I just don't think it's going to be a price hike. The problem, remember, Google has no problem losing money in services compared to Spotify and Apple. Like, they will be more willing to give money away to get users than Spotify or Apple will, because Spotify or Apple want users more than anything. Google really just wants users. They don't care about the money as much, because they're going to make money other ways by having those users. The problem that I have with Android phones with the notch is it still has a chin. Just make a top even and bottom and get rid of the notch. I completely agree. And I do understand what you mean. Like, don't have a big chin at the bottom if you're gonna have a notch, because you're saying, oh, we want to minimize bezels, but then you have a big chin at the bottom. It makes no sense. Especially, it really doesn't make sense to have a home physical button on the front screen when you have a notch. That makes no sense whatsoever. It's stupid. That is horrible decision and design. What is LG thinking about? Every year I try to defend them, but it's getting harder and harder to defend them. I know, I've been there. I tried as well for many years. Huawei RIP. Opera was free, but they are canning the service on sales this month. Yes, they are. I had it also, but deleted it because stopping the service. Correct. The upcoming HTC U12 seems like a good phone. It seemed like a great phone. The one that was leaked and we covered it, I think, 2 weeks ago. It seems like a really good phone and one that I actually am finally interested in for HTC, which I haven't been in years, but really kind of curious to see how it goes about. Everyone is saying iOS 12 is going to be a flop. I don't think it's going to be a flop. I think it's just not. I think it's going to be very little change. Very little change. I see. Hi, tech guy. Hi, Precious. LG G7 will have a price drop as soon as after the device is released. They do it every year since they don't promote it very well. Absolutely. So what happens in the past couple of years with LG phones is they go right at the same price point as Samsung. And that's a mistake because if you're at the same price point of Samsung, you have to offer more than them. And unfortunately, in the past, LG just hasn't. So they do a price drop shortly after because they're not selling. It has happened for the past year and a half, I want to say. And unfortunately, I do think it probably will happen again. What will hiding the notch do the aspect ratio of the G6 and other phones? Well, hiding the notch just basically takes that away. So instead of 18:9, you might be a 17:9 instead of you're not quite a 16:9 in that scenario, but it gets it slightly shorter basically. From what I understand, Sprint has a ton of outdated spectrum, more than AT&T or Verizon. Each has separately added Sprint's outdated spectrum and converting it to win in my book. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, she had a reaction like that. Now I know I must really be an interesting story to Avengers. Oh yeah, it's. I described it on my review, and check out the review to see more in depth. But it is a journey you go on, and like you just like at the end you're just like. Oh, I need a minute. Whew. Like that's how you feel after Avengers. Like you need a minute to absorb everything you just saw. And definitely stick around for the end credit scene. No mid credit scene, but there is an end credit scene. Google needs to push Android Auto more. Apple is wiping the floor. I do agree, except for like Hyundai and Kia. Android Auto is really not promoted as much, and I think they really need to be because they are good, and they're going to get a refresh soon. So yeah, curious to see how it goes. So basically, T-Mobile is a 12-year-old waiting for a Sprint license. I like the way you put that. Can you say hi to me? Hey, Papo. No sips for me today, just water. There you go. I have a Dell XPS 13 and I get plenty of compliments and it turns heads. I never use the webcam, so it doesn't bother me. Yeah, see, my thing is if I'm going to use a webcam, I'm going to use, try not to drop anything, a webcam. That's what I'm going to use, a webcam. Like, I'm going to use an actual webcam, not that 1.3 megapixel that's on most laptops that I still, like, if you put a 1.3 megapixel camera on your laptop, don't even bother, because why wouldn't you use a smartphone instead? There's no reason to use a webcam on a laptop that is a 1.3 megapixel. There's no reason. Just don't even put it on there, in my opinion, but it's horrible. I really wish that they would put smartphone selfie cameras on webcams. It needs to happen, and it's one of the things that makes laptops so outdated, in my opinion. So I don't even use webcams. Why was the ZTE and Huawei banned from US? Basically, now none of this has been verified. That's my problem with it. But basically, it was banned from the US because of the fact that they said that these companies were putting malware to spy from China, because they're Chinese companies, on the US. Really hasn't been that proof on there. There's been hearsay, she say, but no hard proof. So that was my problem with it. But overall, if it is happening, then by all means we should, you know, restrict it. But it's really interesting to see what will happen. Whoa, a bunch of questions just loaded. Everyone drink. This is sip 3, I think. Any news on the patch for Oreo on the Note devices? No. They took it away at most carriers this past week and are updating again, so yeah. What would be the best price for the SA Plus now? I don't know. I have not honestly checked the price for a while. For me to get an S8 Plus right now, maybe this is greedy, but it would be $400. Like, it has to be inexpensive for me to get it. Just because at this point, like, if it was $500, right? Why wouldn't I get a OnePlus 6 that comes out this year? You know, things like that are my thing on an older model. Like, it has to be competitive for me to even suggest it. The reason why smartphone sales generally are staggering is because people are holding on to their phones for longer. No need to upgrade every year anymore. I do agree with that. You know, smartphones really need to make more of an impact to do it. But here's the thing. I do think the iPhone 10, if Apple were to bring back a fingerprint scanner on the back of the phone, for instance, I think a lot of people would jump from the iPhone 10. That is something that I think that would make people jump. However, I don't think nothing too big is going to happen this year. I mean, you're going to have the bigger screen iPhone 10 design, right? So that is going to be in effect, and I think that will make an impact, yeah. But it's really going to be curious to see how everything progresses overall. Very curious to see. S9 Plus call recorder not working in the UK, Europe. Any solution? No, I'm not sure. Do they have regulations? Because I know in the US, it's almost that, yeah, you can't have a call recorder. So I'm not sure if different countries or continents even, for that matter, are banning it more and more now. Spoiler talk about Avengers 3. I have not talked about spoilers, so I don't know if I will. My parents are from Mexico, yes, and yeah, my parents are from Mexico. If someone asked what I was, yes. If Huawei received the same support from carriers in the U.S. like Samsung would be in trouble. I do agree with that. I think Huawei has a big benefit to them, honestly, in their smartphones, and they're really just making some great innovations. And I think they do need to sort out everything, to be honest. Is North Korea going to start manufacturing smartphone screens? I don't think North Korea will start manufacturing any kind of smartphone screens. They have manufactured their own phones in the past, but they're not as technologically advanced as South Korea is. So I don't know if North Korea would. Snapchat spectacles, why? I don't know. I don't think Snapchat. I think Snapchat will die in a few years. I don't think Snapchat is anything special. I think they're going to fall off. Why get the spectacles? I have no idea. They didn't do enough improvements, in my opinion. The crown on the Note 9 represents the king, so it means all other smartphones will get on their knees, including the iPhone. Trust me, they will throw their crown to Samsung. It'll be interesting to see, yeah, but I'm very curious to see how it'll go. Just signed on. What up with the Galaxy X? No update on the Galaxy X since last week. Note FE will update to Oreo. Yes, that has been confirmed that they are updating the Fan Edition Note that was the rebranded Note 7 to Oreo. That is crazy. Talking about VPN, can you explain briefly why I should use it? Thanks. Yeah, VPN, two main reasons why most people use VPNs. There is a third one for more geeky people, but the main two that general consumers use VPNs for. One, if you have a VPN on your smartphone and you sign on to the Wi-Fi at a Starbucks or at a hotel or any public area, they could, hackers or anyone, you know, who knows what they're doing, basically could get on your phone. A VPN prevents that. So that's one of the biggest things, is to be safe in public Wi-Fi locations. That is a big reason to get VPN. The second reason is to have access to your country's content. So last year, or was it last year or 2 years ago now? 2 years ago, wow, yeah, married for so long now. 2 years ago when I was on my honeymoon, we were in Europe. My Netflix account would not work in Europe. Neither my YouTube account, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, they would not work in, or my YouTube Red account, I should say. They would not work in Europe. So I had to sign into a VPN, and then I could use it. Basically, the VPN told their internet, oh, he's in the US, so he's okay for Netflix. As opposed to just getting on their Wi-Fi was like, hey, he has a US account, he's in Europe, he can't use it. That's essentially what was happening and what the VPN fixed. Hopefully that helps. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just flooded. Everybody drink. Apple HomePod flopped in sales, wonder why. No benefits, I mean, other than the sound quality, and not worth it for the price. I'm new to WhatsApp. I know the good. Tell me the bad. Honestly, the biggest bad with WhatsApp is not a lot of people have it in the US. Outside of the US, WhatsApp is so incredibly popular, but the fact that you have to tell people to download it is why it doesn't succeed, just like everything else that Android has tried to do to replace iMessage. The fact that I have to tell you, oh, hey, download this, you're gonna be like, I don't want to. Like, you know, it is what it is. When is Google I/O? What are your predictions? Google I/O is in May. I don't have too many predictions yet. I do think we're gonna get refreshes on Chrome, on Android. We're gonna get the announcement for what the Android is. And yeah. I think we're gonna get an update on Android TV, which is badly needed, and Android Auto as well. I don't foresee any hardware coming out until later on, which Google typically does. But Google might launch the Pixel 3 earlier this year. We'll have to wait and see. Or it'll end up in October as usual. I just hope they keep YouTube Red and Play Music under one service payment of $15 per month. I do agree. I hope that stays that way. And I think $15 a month, you have the plan where you have like 5 people on that account, which is awesome. Oh, work today, so we'll go to sleep right after. Opinion on Google Slides and Google Docs. We're switching from Microsoft Office. Honestly, I don't see them as complete solutions still yet. I think they need to refine them more before I would recommend them over Microsoft Office. But my big thing is Google Docs is great for college. I mean, I could not have gone through college without Google Docs, simply because that is the easiest way to work with everyone. It is better than Microsoft's solution, but you can just work with everyone seamlessly on one paper. So for team and group assignments, it was the best thing ever. I remember back in my college days. Wish I liked comic book movies so I could get excited about Avengers. Oh man, I mean, it was just epic, but it is a superhero movie through and through, but it's just a good movie. But you do have to have invested. The fact that I invested over the 10 years and the fact that I rewatched every single Marvel movie with my little girl leading up to it over the past 3 months really just like brought it all together at the end. The Essential Phone 2 will be a flop. Oh, it's a possibility. I don't know. We'll have to see what it come up with. Are you watching the Triple G fight on May 5th? No, Triple G fight, no. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure if it's boxing or MMA, but I don't watch rarely either of them anymore. I used to be a big boxing fan, never got into MMA. I mean, I'll see it if my friends are watching it, but I couldn't tell you the fighters, the stats, anything like that. Cough, Rigsby has the soul stone, cough. have not seen it yet. Rigsby would have solved everything in Infinity War. That's all I have to say. You know, all these wannabe AIs like Vision and Friday. Psh, Rigsby would have had the solutions, including for, you know, if you saw. They should combine Play Music and YouTube Red and YouTube TV into one decent price point, and have the only options be available upgrade channel packages. My thing about YouTube TV is it needs more channels. It really needs more channels. I would love to get on YouTube TV, but it has too little channels and not enough for me. Ricky, I heard the next iPhone will have a stylus like the Note 9 lineup. It will be sold separately. We had talked about that at the beginning of the show, or towards the beginning. It will be sold separately if it does come out with one. There's no way Apple will put it inside the phone like Samsung does. I can get a Samsung Notebook 9 2018 15-inch $2,079 after a student discount. Is there anything else I should consider for the features? That's a really good student discount. I would check out where I got my wife's computer as well, the Dell Outlet, DellOutlet.com, I believe it's called. I have a link for it in that video for the Dell XPS 13, but that is a really awesome one. So I would check into the 15 inches that Dell has, see specs wise comparing them. They have some really good discounts too. But one of those sound good. And then just check your weekly sales on Best Buy and Fry's and all those. Laptop should have 8 megapixel webcams. Never use the laptop for chat, but now I won't use it so more so. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Do you think they will make Waze available as a default for Android Auto? I never think that we'll make it as a default, just because it's. I know Google owns both of them, but Google wants Google Maps more so. So I don't think so, but we'll see. Let's see. The Galaxy X will have 3 screens, 2 in the middle and 1 on the back. Very interesting. Technically 1 on the front, so it will be like this. So 1 on the front and then 2 inside. So when you close it, you have a front screen and then you have 2 in the middle like that. So yeah, that's how it'll be. Don't watch this podcast and drive. Yes. Hey, I don't tell you guys to drink alcohol. Okay, I just say drink. I don't say drink alcohol. I just want to clarify that. Let's see. S8 is better than the OnePlus 6. I mean, not really. Come on, if you think about it, S8 from last year, the OnePlus 6 will have a better processor, it will have better RAM, it will have better performance overall. Will Samsung give things that the OnePlus doesn't have? Absolutely. But I wouldn't say clean cut that it's better. Of course, I'm drinking soda, so I'm good. I'm still waiting for Rigsby. Great show, by the way. Thank you. What's going on? What's coming? Android P. Android P is going to be coming, but we don't really know what, except for like notch, accessibility, and a few little tweaks, but still haven't had any wow factors in my opinion for Android P. I don't know if it'll be just a minimal update, but we'll see. What's up, my favorite YouTuber? Well, thank you, Stinger. I appreciate that. I'm so upset about not having Huawei option in the US. My MediaPad M3 is awesome. Yeah, I know, and a lot of people like Huawei products. I was one of them. I mean, really liked a lot of things about it, so it really kind of sucks that don't have it anymore. I keep hearing Apple AI glasses. I think that's still far off. I think we're not going to get that for about 2 years, I would say. Not this year, not next year, the year after is my prediction. Can you use songs downloaded to Google Play Music on the Samsung Music app? I've tried, I can't find them. No, they make it so you can't do it. Snapchat tech rant. I've already done a Snapchat tech rant, to be honest. I did a tech rant on Snapchat about how horrible their quality is on Android and why that's why they will fail. And my prediction's been coming true, so yeah. Let's see. I wonder why Samsung got so dominant in Android. What is their success story? It honestly is one of the reasons why I was in marketing. Marketing is king of getting consumers. A lot of people try to do all these different things, and Samsung in the Samsung Galaxy S was nowhere near the best smartphone. But with the advertising they did for the S2, and they updated it, that advertising and marketing blew everyone else away. It blew everyone else away. It blew the Evo out of the way. It blew the LG phones out of the way. It really dominated. And yeah, that's what did it. Marketing. Marketing is what did it, just like for Apple. Apple marketing is what created the Apple empire. Without marketing, Apple would never have become the success story they are. It's not their products, it's their marketing. So marketing is king. 87K I don't know what this is referring to, Anthony. Let me do a quick Google search and see if I can find. Oh, resin and i7. You know, I do not know enough about the resins. I personally just favor i7, but that's me. I don't know enough about the resin, so I wouldn't know. Did you watch the Greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view? I did. Titus Worldwide, man. Hey, all you gotta say is he is working with WWE merch on making this money for it. So if you haven't seen it, just search Titus Greatest Royal Rumble, and it is a funniest thing. Basically, a wrestler was running down the ramp, tripped, and slid all the way underneath the ring. Man, he is so awesome. Like everyone was just like, dude, you're so great. He just used it to up his charity that he has. So a lot more people donated to it because of it. So yeah, man, he's so awesome. And he continued the match. He got right up and did it. But Google that. It is so freaking awesome. Titus Greatest Royal Rumble. It's awesome. But yeah, no titles changed hand though, man. That's what everyone was saying. It really was just a glorified. By the way, the cage match was completely BS. Roman Reigns won that cage match. His feet touched the floor first. The guy's feet were in the air. His feet fell first. It's not whose body falls outside of the ring. It's whose feet fall outside of the ring first. Because other matches have been decided like that too. So yeah. Amazon Prime is going up to $20. By $20, still worth it? Yeah, I mean, for me it is. I shop so much at Amazon Prime just in shipping alone. It's completely worth it to me. For everyone else though, you have to make your own assessment. For me, I use it so often. I use it to ship giveaways to you guys sometimes. So yeah, no, for me, it's completely worth it and always will be, within reason. What VPN you like? I've used different. I'm still testing out to see which will be our replacement VPNs. I do not have a final one yet. Please do a tech rant on DxO Mark. They never give Samsung phones the credit they deserve. The S9 is one of the best cameras, followed by the Pixel. Well, you just said they never give Samsung the credit they deserve, but the S9 was the current top phone until the Huawei P20. The S9 beat every smartphone last year in terms of camera. So I wouldn't say they don't give them. I just don't put any kind of credence to DxO Marker in my opinion, to be at all, to be honest. VPN, I've been told that several techies don't use free VPN or VPN based in the US. Considering ExpressVPN and NordVPN service, I was told to stay away from IP vanish. Here's the thing. I'm not saying all of them. But some people recommend not getting a free VPN because they get affiliate links if you buy their VPN that they're pushing. So yeah. So if you ever see a person like pushing this VPN and this is why you shouldn't get free VPNs, they might be making money. So yeah, just saying. Galaxy X sounds like a nightmare for people who use cases. The Galaxy X will not have cases. Have you heard of the games called Killer Instinct and Street Fighter? Yes, I love Killer Instinct and Street Fighter. Combo breaker. Glad Samsung is not using notches. Funny you say that. If you watched last week's episode, we talked about Samsung patenting a phone with a notch. Not saying it'll happen, but they did make a patent. Just saying. How difficult is it to develop AI? Very difficult. Very, very difficult. What's new with the Note 9? We just got a certification through China, so it does look like it will be coming out at my predicted time, which is early August, and it will be announced at the end of July. S9 Plus here, great phone. Absolutely, it is a great phone. It's still my daily driver, S9 Plus. How do you think the Pixel 3 will come? I don't know yet. I hope they've realized the notch is a mistake, because it was rumored that it would have a notch, and that would be a suicide for Pixel if they do that. Why iPhone products are so expensive? Shake my head. Because they get the most profit. That's why. Samsung is great, but you can get a phone for hundreds less and does 80% of the Samsung features. Having said that, I always use Samsung. I completely agree. It really depends on it. Did you finish God of War? No, I am so just like, I don't know how many hours I'm in. I think probably around 40 hours in. Still haven't finished it. I don't even think I'm halfway through. Yeah, I haven't progressed much in storyline. I've been doing so many side quests. I need to get back to the storyline. When is the LG V30 video coming out? It is coming out. This past week had some interesting turn of events that took time for me, but I will try to get it out Tuesday. Let's say Wednesday to be safe. Wednesday to be safe. Good night, everyone. Good night. I remember when Shawn Michaels only had 1 foot touch the floor and he snuck by the British Bulldog and eliminated in the Royal Rumble. That actually was one of the greatest moments because he also entered #1 that year for the Royal Rumble, which was so awesome. But yeah, no, I remember that too, and it was probably one of the best things ever. And then they've been trying to replicate it since then, you know. Honestly, I thought Amazon Alexa would be temporary product line. Not anymore. They're established. Yeah, I do think Google is taking them over, to be honest, though. No data throttling. Will Pixel phones be as dominant as Samsung in the US? No, never. Not a chance. Their marketing isn't good enough yet. What Note 9 in August coming out July? How's that? So basically with the Note 7, right? This was 2 years ago. The Note 7, basically what they did was they announced at the end of July and they came out mid-August. I think that's what we're going to get with the Note 9 this year as well. Would you like to see a death battle between Balrog and the combo? That's hilarious. Should I jump from the S8 to the Note 9? I think that's a really good one to jump upgrade to. How big will the battery be? It looks like Samsung is upping it to be higher. We have rumors of 3850, I want to say it was, and also rumors of 4000. Either way, a bigger battery than your S8 would have. I'm still playing Far Cry 5. Speaking of side quests, I know, man, side quests always get you. And Batman died in Infinity War. How dare you spoil that super cool spoiler? Batman arriving in the Marvel Universe and then just dying immediately. There will be another version of, will there be another version of Google Home? I think there will be. I think that will be coming out this year. We're going to get a new Google Home. I think they're going to refine the $129 version, and I think we're going to get more Google Homes with screens. That's what we're going to get this year. We're going to get Google Homes with screens, and I think a lot of people are going to like them. I love the Lenovo one that I saw at CES, so yeah, really a lot of fun. Alright guys, with that, I think we're going to wrap it up today. I think it was a lot of fun, definitely, and yeah, hope you guys had a great time. I found this off of some guy, you know, I don't think he's going to miss it at all, but, you know, it's fine, right? Like, you know, what's the chances of him coming back and, you know, doing anything? So yeah, had a lot of fun today, guys. Make sure to like the video, and really should be a lot of fun. And yeah, I think that's everything. We'll do some videos this week, including a monthly giveaway will be announced, and we have an awesome monthly giveaway coming up this time around. Yeah, actually, if you guys waited all the way to the end of this, I'll let you know right now, it's going to be a mixed reality headset, a $400 VR headset we're giving away to you guys, so should be good, should be good. All right, guys, thank you as always so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.